Let's try that again. Wiring is okay. All right, let's try it now. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Bruno. This is the Florida Fish Hunter channel. Mainly has to do with a lot of DIY, particularly on kayaks. But today's video is going to be about my little DIY battery box. Okay, a lot of people have been asking me about it, and I finally got around to making it. So with that said, let's move right on to the video. I don't want to keep you guys waiting. Let's go. Alright, so here's my little cobalt battery box. Very simple. It's a small little ammo box. This one specifically is from Harbor Freight, and I modified it a little bit just to hold my accessory batteries. So let's open it up. You can see here's the cobalt battery. This is what I use. This is a Lowe's brand from my lawn equipment. Okay. And so I have it mounted on my own little custom slide-in panel. Okay, this is 3D printed. You can see it there. Okay, this is a 24 volt to 12 volt converter, and I believe this one's 30 amps, or that's what it's rated at. Okay. This is pretty simple to make. There's other 3D printed versions for other brands like Milwaukee, DeWalt, or Ryobi, but since I'm using cobalt, then this is the design. All right, this is all 14 gauge, and I prefer to use these little quick connects. It just makes it easier if I have to replace this, which I haven't, or just have to do any work to it where I have to separate it. Then it's just as easy to just disconnect it from here. Okay. Let me show you some things here inside the box. These are some little sliding guides, 3D printed. Very important. I did not want this to be fixed in the box. Okay. This is where I run my spare. I mean, you can actually wire it so that you'll have them in parallel, so it'll last longer, having two batteries connected. But I just like to carry the spare, and I'll just swap it when I need to. And these are some little nut plates here for the screws to catch. You could use nuts and bolts, but I just prefer to use the screws. Okay, here's my on and off switch. I'll explain why that's so important to have. But even more important is this little circuit board right here. This is your low voltage protect, especially for lithium batteries. It's a must. You only want to take them down to a certain voltage so you don't ruin the battery. And this is what this does. So the way I have it wired up is the leads coming out from the battery holder. I have the switch connected through its ground. That's how I kill the battery from the whole circuit. From there it goes to the, let me put this back in. From there it goes to the inside portion of this little module. It does its thing, and then it steps out through here, and then it goes into the converter. Okay, this is the input side, and then after the conversion it comes out to 12 volts and goes right to the main leads. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put the battery and show you. This one's fully charged. Okay, I'll turn on the switch, And there it is. We're showing 25.3 volts. Now I'm going to show you how I have this set up, but there's better instructions online as far as how to program this. But here, when you press it here, this button, it shows what my cutoff voltage is set at. So at 19 volts, this is going to disconnect the battery to protect it. Okay. This button here shows 1 volt, so it has to be 1 volt higher than the 19 volts in order for this battery to engage again. In other words, if I have it set at 19, it has to be able to read 20 volts before the circuit will work again. Okay? Let me turn it off. Now the other thing, okay, so I'm going to show you what happens here when it reads low voltage. So I have my blower here connected with the battery. Okay. It's almost dead. If you can see the green light flashing. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on momentarily so I can kill the battery. Okay, the battery just died. There it is flashing. And this is where I know where to set my battery to protect it. Okay, because these batteries do not have a battery management system in it. Okay, it's all in the tool. So the tool knows when to stop drawing any more power from the battery. Okay. So now I put this in, and now it's showing me 18.9 volts. So that's telling me that's the lowest that Cobalt is willing to take the battery down to protect it. And this is why when you press this button here, I have it set at 19. So at 19 volts, it's going to disconnect the battery just like original equipment tool does. Okay. This one over here. So let's put this one back in. Alright, so we're going to turn it on. I'm going to show you how it powers up some accessories, so such as the fish finder. Okay, here are my leads. They're just kicking on. And there it is. Also, I run other accessories. Here's other leads that I have, such as trolling motor. I can actually run the trolling motor off of this. I have my stern lighting for the kayak that I run. This is for my native slayer. And this housing here, same light, is for my Hobie. Then I have my green fishing light that I can also run off of this as well. Now we just connect it. And there it is. So there's a lot of things you could run on this to make this work as a simple little carry-all. Alright, so let's go ahead and kill everything. And I want to show it's not a heavy box either. All right, I got my little scale here. Okay, I got it set for pounds. I'm going to lay it on there. And hopefully you can see that, I hope. 5.15 pounds. That's all this weighs. So yeah, it's a simple little box. I'm going to show a separate video showing when this battery is going down in voltage, how this disengages it. Also, you can see I have it wired up pretty much direct, no fuse. But there's other ways to wire this up, like using a relay. So I'm going to have different schematics come up in the video that you can use to create your own setup if you wanted to use an optional relay. This is the 30 amp relay on the circuit board. I feel you're going to be really, I don't know, would like to protect this a little bit better and rather have it run off a more industrial type of relay. So I'll have that wiring set up and show you how I'm going to be doing it in the future. But for now, this has been working perfect for me. I have no complaints about it, and hopefully it'll help somebody out there who has a bunch of tool batteries that they can use. That, you know, it's a way to save money. All right. Okay, thank you guys. That's it for now. Okay, I want to go ahead and show how to program this little controller, or how I did it. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is see what your voltage is, what your actual voltage is on the full charge on the battery. So I'm going to use my meter. I'm going to turn on the switch, and I purposely reset this little box so you can see here it says 24.9 volts, but we're actually going to get a reading and see what it is. So what I'm reading on the meter is 25.2. So we're going to set the voltage here to 25.2. Okay? So the way you do that, you have a plus and a minus button right here. This is your plus button, this is your minus button. So the first thing you do is you hold it down and you see it starts flashing. So we're going to use the plus side to bring it up. Oh, I waited too long. Let me do that again. So there it is, 25.2. Okay, now I'm going to set the disconnect voltage. So that one, we're going to bring it up to here. You see it's showing 19.6. If you do your calculations and subtract 20% from 24, you get 19.3, I believe it is. But you could use the other method too, and use the tool to determine your actual battery tool to determine what the voltage is, like I showed before, and then you would go by that. I'm going to use 19 volts, so I'm going to go ahead and bring it up, showing 19.6. That's not what I want, so I bring it up again, and then I have to get it to, nope, try it again. You got to play with it. There it is, it's flashing. So now I'm going to use the negative button to bring it down to 19 volts. Okay, so there it is, 19 volts, 25.1 is close enough. And here is 1 volt. That's what I have it set at. 1 volt is what it'll have to be above your disconnect voltage. So in other words, we're showing 19, so 1 volt difference for it to engage. So it's got to come up to 20 volts before it engages. But in this scenario, the way this is set up, that's not going to matter, because once it loses voltage, you just kick it off and replace the battery. Okay, so I'm not even going to go into setting with that. Just let it disconnect and be done with it. Okay, and that's pretty much all there is to it. Hope that helps you out. Okay, so this little box is normally what I use in my kayak for lighting, and it's a 24 volt cobalt battery. There it is in here. And this one that I'm running today is a 4 amp hour. Alright, it's got a full charge. Hopefully you can see it. And although I got it used for lighting, I wanted to see if it'll run a trolling motor. And what I got here is a minn-kota 30 in Duramax. So I want to see how long it'll run for. I've got it in water to sense as a load and to keep the motor cool. So I'm going to go ahead and set it up for full speed as a 5-speed. This is not using a PWM, so it's just going to use the regular battery. Alright, we'll come back. It's about an hour and 20 minutes, so that's about it. It's dead. We shut it off. So let's see if I can see. Yep, it's dead. So I've got a fresh battery, and what I want to do now is, let's see it. Yeah, full charge. I want to test it at the slowest speed setting of the motor. So I got it lowered to 1, and now I'm gonna run it again and check the temperature of the wires. Ooh, that's hot. Yep, hot. Alright. Let's try that again. Wiring is okay. Alright, let's try it now. Alright, I'll be back again to check. Alright, so that concludes the slow speed test. Check the battery. Yep, it's dead. Everything looks good. Yeah, it's kind of hot. All the wiring is good. All right.